You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, halfway through the week. So glad you're with us at 6 a.m., everybody. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour. Yeah, halfway through the week, and there was promise of temperatures not being as tough to deal with. So here we go.
Down by a
little sliding temperatures that we get for today through about Friday, and then we'll watch as those temperatures warm up again for the upcoming weekend. Good morning to you, 6 o'clock on the dot. And we're watching as a few speckles of green pop up on the right-hand side of the screen. What we're seeing here is that this is monsoonal moisture that's way off to the east of us, but it's allowing for a good amount of cloud cover across the county of San Diego. When we zoom out, you can see those more abundant showers and even thunderstorms that are passing just south of the border around the Yuma area. We could still see that activity pick up in the next couple of hours, but we are likely to instead see it mostly taper off. In the meantime, temperatures are sliding a bit, mid-70s this afternoon, going for the 80s instead of the 90s for our inland valleys and our mountains. Coming up, we'll take a look at that 7-day forecast. Back to you.
Evan, thank you very much. And now an update this morning on the negotiations between Rady Children's Hospital and its nurses. The hospital says nurses rejected a tentative contract agreement now for the third time.
CBS 8's Regina Urita is live outside Rady Children's Hospital here this morning on what's going to be happening next with all this. Regina?
Yeah, good morning, Eric and Netta. You can imagine the disappointment on both groups. This is the third time that this deal has been rejected. About 1,600 nurses recently rejected this deal. Now, negotiations have been going on for the past couple of months. Their contract actually expired back in June, and they conducted a 2-day strike in July, but they are still unhappy with what's being offered. The nurses did notice some improvements, but they say it did not sufficiently address the critical issues of wages and high medical premium costs that they have to deal with. They add that they're committed to securing a fair contract that keeps nurses in their jobs, and they plan to regroup with members and the executive board in the coming days to figure out the next steps in securing a strong agreement. Now, meanwhile, executives at Rady Children's Hospital have responded. They're disappointed to learn that for the third time, nurses have voted against a tentative deal.
What's his name?
It would have provided substantial family supporting pay and benefits for valued nurses. The hospital will continue to bargain in good faith. So back out here, there is no word if there is going to be a next possible strike. I'm assuming that is going to be part of their discussion as they regroup and figure out the next couple of days. That's latest here outside of Rady Children's Hospital. Regina Urita, CBS 8.
Regina, thank you. Vice President Kamala Harris and her newly picked running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, are courting voters in Wisconsin and Michigan today as part of a battleground blitz.
During a rally yesterday, Walz said he cannot wait to debate Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance.
If he's willing to get off the couch and show up. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy and, yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see.
Rallying earlier yesterday, also in Philadelphia, Vance said he'll debate Walz after the Democratic National Convention.
16 days she has been the presumptive nominee of the Democrat Party. 0 times she has sat for a real media interview. That's a disgrace.
In a new campaign video, the Trump campaign calls Walz, quote, a rubber stamp for Kamala's dangerously liberal agenda. Ariane Detil with our Verify team looks into claims already circulating about him.
One of the claims circulating about Kamala Harris's newly selected vice presidential candidate, Tim Walz, relates to the official response to the protest that followed the murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer in 2020. At the time, Walz was the governor of Minnesota. At a campaign speech in Minnesota on Saturday, former President Trump claims it was him that took action, not Walz.
I couldn't get your governor to act. He's supposed to call in the National Guard or the Army, and he didn't do it. I couldn't get your governor. So I sent in the National Guard to save Minneapolis.
Using these sources, we can verify that Trump's claims are false. On May 28, 2020, 3 days after Floyd was killed amid violent protests across the city of Minneapolis, Walz announced he had signed an executive order activating the Minnesota National Guard. That same day, the Guard announced on social media that they were ready and prepared to answer the governor's request. Later that day, after a Minneapolis police precinct building was set on fire, the Minnesota National Guard said it sent more than 500 soldiers to St. Paul, Minneapolis, and surrounding communities. It wasn't until after that deployment that then-President Trump took to social media, threatening to send the Guard if Democratic Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey did not get his act together and bring the city under control. But at that point, the Guard had already been requested by Walz and deployed. Next, we looked into claims that Walz was charged with a DUI about 30 years ago. Using these sources, we can verify that that is true. Nebraska police records from 1995 confirm that Walz, then a teacher in Nebraska, was initially charged with driving while under the influence and speeding in Dawes County. Walz was booked into Dawes County Jail. The charges were later reduced to a single count of reckless driving following a plea deal. According to multiple media reports, Walz has stopped drinking since the incident. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till for CBS 8.
Meantime, we are now getting reactions from local politicians on Vice President Kamala Harris's vice president pick. San Diego Democratic Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs posting on X saying Walz will be a fantastic vice president, adding in another post with several pictures of Walz. The vibes are immaculate, she said. Republican Congressman Darrell Issa also reacting on X, saying that, quote, if you want to force, we know better than you, failed progressive policies on every corner of this great country, the Harris-Walz ticket is the way to go. We will be hearing from our political analyst in just a few minutes.
Also this morning, we have a warning for people who frequent the Gaslamp corridor.
A video showing pickpocketers stealing phones from people in crowds on Fifth Avenue. This video is now going viral. CBS 8's Chris Guo is live in the Gaslamp with the message from the man who captured that video. Chris, what's the latest there?
Yeah, this was a person who was out in the Gaslamp and happened to notice it happen more than once, and he decided to go ahead, pull out his phone, and start recording.
As I saw one group, I saw three groups, and it's just like now every time I go downtown, I can easily identify a pickpocket by just looking into a crowd, and usually that's where they go, big giant crowds.
Yeah, so that's Mohammed Ahmed, who decided to go ahead and then follow those pickpocketers from a distance. He says this all happened on a recent Saturday night right here on Fifth Avenue. He says in the video you can see a hand going into a purse, pulling out a phone, and then when he follows them, they pull over, they put a rag over their head before going into someone else's purse or back pocket to go ahead and steal more items. Now, he says that on this one day, he saw dozens of pickpocketing attempts and even noticed multiple groups trying to do it. He says that his recent video has garnered a lot of attention. In fact, it's got more than 800,000 views, so he hopes that it'll help spread awareness and even help catch these pickpocketers. Now, we also reached out to the San Diego Police Department. They are trying to gather evidence, trying to gather information to see if this is a coordinated effort or if this is simply just people trying to take advantage of the fact that we had so many people out here for Comic-Con. It's also the summertime. As things are winding down, you still see large groups out here, especially late at night. And of course, as always, they are vulnerable to those who are trying to take advantage of people who are maybe not paying as much attention. So make sure to keep your wits about you. Make sure you have all of your belongings with you at all times. Eric and Netta.
Yeah, when you're choosing that summer wardrobe down there in the Gaslamp, the zipper pockets, right, or the buttons.
Keep it discreet.
Yeah.
I swear, the fanny pack on the front
There
of
you
you,
go.
and you're done.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough to do that, right? When it's like
Pockets
across your
aren't
chest.
busy because
Right.
even for me, I don't like having my pockets all bunched up
Sure.
with
Yeah, and when you
keys,
sit
wallet,
and stuff,
phone,
no.
Right.
yeah,
And the fanny
sunglasses.
pack
Fanny
is
pack.
cool again. So,
But don't keep
They're
it
great.
behind you.
Right.
Keep it right in front.
And now
Yeah.
we can dance freely.
It's
Do
Right.
like,
all
I
the
think
things.
fanny packs are like becoming cool again. and
Yeah.
They are.
Really love
They're
it.
now for safety
Yeah.
reasons, too.
And now, because of the pickpocketers, maybe they've done something good for us. Brought those fanny packs back into style. Take a look at the forecast. 76 degrees along the coastline, 87 inland, 86 for the mountains, and 107 for the deserts. These temperatures are sliding compared to yesterday. We have lost all of our heat-related alerts, so we don't have an excessive heat warning or heat advisory in play any longer, and we are now free of all alerts across the county of San Diego, whether they be heat or unrelated to the heat. Today through Friday, temperatures are on the cooler side, and then we climb again for the weekend as we get back to the 90s. So Saturday and Sunday, low 90s. These are also going to be 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, where we have humidity back in the forecast, so we'll feel a bit more muggy out there. 69 for your current temperatures out there in Oceanside. It's 68 degrees right now in Encinitas, 66 in Poway. These temperatures are pretty uniform, mostly in the mid to upper 60s, and that is largely because of that dense layer of clouds overhead. Along the coast, that cloud layer is coming in the form of that marine layer, so it's coming onshore from the coast all the way through your inland valleys. Opposite direction, cloud cover is coming in from monsoonal moisture. So the combination of the two leads to these types of uniform temperatures where we're almost all in the mid-60s to about maybe 70 degrees. Yesterday afternoon, downtown San Diego made it to 85 on that afternoon high. That was well above forecast models, about 8 degrees warmer than average, and that was an anomaly. But today we're expected to fall back to the 70s once again. We'll probably be closer to that maybe 77 to 79 degree range. Let's take a look at how traffic is shaping up this morning so far. It's been a quiet morning. There are just a couple spots to take you to. One is a stalled vehicle on the 805 northbound at Mira Mesa Boulevard. Other is a crash on the entry ramp to the 163 southbound from the 15 southbound. Let's check in on your border wait times right now. 60-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Otay Mesa Port of Entry is going to take you about 75 minutes in total.